Hey everybody, it's MommaOG. I am back with another reaction. Today I'm continuing my Ren journey. I just reacted to 7 Sins and I'm not so sure that was a smart choice to start my recording day out on because my brain... But nonetheless, I'm gonna soldier through because I want to get to this Vincent tale saga. Next is Vincent's tale, The Bedroom. I reacted to Sunflowers and Self-Portrait way back in October of last year, 2025. I have listened to both songs several times since then. I've got them on my playlist. Just to kind of summarize where I left off, Sunflowers showed Vincent kind of going through the same routine day in, day out. And then Self-Portrait kind of is where he went off the rails a little bit. The routine had finally gotten to him, as well as some of the stuff he was dealing with about his country. And he got into a drunken fight. And Richard enters the picture and he arrests Vincent. I really wish I wouldn't have taken so much time to continue this series because I feel a little bit lost. I have to be completely honest. I'm just hoping it kind of all comes back to me. I do remember the premise of both videos. The only thing I'm a little fuzzy on is the first video had the character with the red hair that I assumed was Vincent. I later found out that that was a reference to Vincent van Gogh. Didn't figure that out in the moment. But then it switches to Ren kind of narrating the Vincent tale. And in the second video, Self-Portrait, he kind of acts out the part of Vincent. So I don't know why it switched from the one guy to Ren, or if there's really even a reason for it. It was just something that happened. Before we get started, if you would like to request a reaction, you can do so by clicking a donation link down in the description. Send along the information of the song you would like me to react to, and I will get it recorded ASAP. I also take notes during my reactions, so you may see me looking down, writing down a couple of things. I do that so I don't have to pause the song a bunch of times, and I can remember what I want to talk about regarding the song when it's time to talk. That said, with Ren, I find myself pausing a lot more than I normally do and kind of going back and re-listening to certain parts. So I can't promise that that won't happen. I've got my earbuds in. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Okay, so we're in jail. Looks like Ren. Oof. Is this another one take? See the pictures here. There's Vincent van Gogh, Self-Portrait, and Sunflowers. I'm kind of pissed off with myself that I didn't make that reference in the first 2 videos, or in the first video at least. Okay, sorry.
ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below, same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain.
Sorry, I have to start that part over.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below, same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contorn insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China was of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny bin. He weren't ever good at hustling.
I know that reference. Wu-Tang.
Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny bin. He weren't ever good at hustling. Shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days, the weeks, the most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled.
Okay. So I've made several notes so far. I feel like I need to stop it and kind of go through these because this is going pretty quickly. This is definitely the story continued of Vincent, and it's still talking about the cycle and the repeatedness of his life, and it's getting more deeper into his specific hardships, I think. I recognize the part where it said, you know, he was born to a mother addicted to heroin. Essentially, that's what he said. And now it looks like he's might be getting back into his disenchantment with Britain, where he lives. I definitely feel like this is just hitting the ground running as from where I left off before. So that is a bit of a relief for me. Okay, let's rewind it a little bit. And keep going.
To be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days, the weeks, the most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled the wave. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too deep.
Oh, shit. So you turn to drugs and alcohol to help you numb what's going on around you that's basically tormenting you, but that ends up hurting you in the long run. This is heart-wrenching.
Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too deep.
Jesus Christ. This does look like a one take. Yet another.
And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so we don't have to think. Mercy. Taste bittersweet. When the spirit that's inside and the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose by decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to? One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
Wow. Wow, okay, here we go. I was going to say that was a quick one. Okay, so this is 10.5 minutes long. Now it's a completely different scene. I'm kind of anxious, like what the next part's going to be. Just to kind of recap what we just saw. He's talking a lot about Vincent's specific hardships. He talks a lot about the cycle and how it's kind of, he said something about a psychopath on ice. So essentially he's a ticking time bomb, and he drinks a lot to kind of numb all this shit that he's going through. But it ends up kind of ruining his life. Just one thing about the performance itself. This definitely is a one take. I've learned to recognize that by now. I love how he's doing the spoken word thing and the singing. That guitar opener was emotional and intense. It almost felt like a vocal. Okay, so let's keep going.
Now it's Vinny boys round.
Now it's Vinny boys round. Ooh. It's got an old school hip hop feel to it. Okay, so here's Richard.
Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they...
I'm so sorry. This gives me old school hip hop vibes so far. It sounds very New York hip hop, which I have said about some of his other stuff. I am quite fond of New York hip hop. I kind of grew up listening to it. I mean, I listen to hip hop of all kinds, but there was just something about New York hip hop that has always stuck with me. Okay, so we've got Richard driving Vincent in the car. I don't know if this is just after the arrest from self-portrait or if he's transporting him somewhere. Probably the former, but let's go ahead and keep going.
Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up. Chop, chop, keep that credit top, top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining.
I love
black
this
ash,
beat.
lights flash, red and blue kaleidoscope. Some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one.
Okay, I'm sorry to yet again pause it to talk, but I am constantly bitching about how everything on this planet these days seems to be a racket. You know, everything you see on TV and the ads, the stuff you see on social media, everything is like a racket for you to consume and take this drug and oh, do you have this problem? Do you have baggy upper eyelids? Here's a drug for it. Do you have this? Here's a drug for it. I don't know. I didn't want to get too deep into it. I've already talked enough, but he just said a victim of society.
I'm just a victim of society, the one that serves you alcohol.
The one that serves you alcohol then sells you your sobriety. We've got all these illegal drugs and then alcohol, which is, in my opinion, far more dangerous than marijuana, let's say. It's legal. You know, you have to be a certain age to consume it, but it's far more dangerous, in my opinion, and damaging than like marijuana. And then you've got the whole addiction business that, you know, you can't help but think this whole pain pill epidemic, which has graduated into heroin fentanyl epidemic in this country, it almost, like, I don't want to even say it was a plan, but it could have been a plan. The same way that crack was introduced into certain communities in the 80s to just decimate certain communities, which it did. You know, the pain pill epidemic that started in the late 90s, early 2000s, they're pushing, you know, this stuff on you, and then, you know, it graduates into heroin and fentanyl. And then I know there's even something else out there now that I barely just heard about a couple of days ago. There's a part of Philadelphia where there's all these zombies walking around, or they're all like bent over. This makes you think, like, you can go and easily consume something that just completely destroys you. Whether it's drugs or alcohol, you've got the business of sobriety now. And it's not cheap. It's not free. Some people can't afford it, and usually those people end up dead or in jail. It just is so disturbing when I sit here and think about it. It's very disconcerting. It's got to be a little bit this way where he lives in the UK. I don't know if there's a bunch of addiction problems with like heroin and pain pills going on over there quite the way it has happened in the United States. I'm kind of ignorant on that. But I know we have a real fucking problem in this country. It's almost like a business. I said something earlier about how everything seems to be a racket, and I mentioned social media. The whole technology, social media, online, how we get our information thing, it ties into this as well, because people are pushing stuff out this way. And I think it's truly affecting people's mental health. And then people, you know, resort to using drugs or alcohol. But there's this quote that I have used several times that I love. It's the only two things on this planet, and I'm not, this isn't verbatim. The only two things on this planet that refer to humans as users are illegal drugs and software. That hit me like a ton of bricks when I first heard it. Everything you do online, you're a user. Drugs, alcohol, you're a user. So just think about that. I haven't ever been able to forget that since I heard that quote many years ago. Okay, sorry. Once again, ranting. Let's keep going.
Don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 through his crimes timelines into sex. Richard's fate was designed.
Oh. Richard.
Paint the picture, set the scene. It's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and read. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Force a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absently. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself. And there's nowhere to go. When there's friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plot.
Okay, hold on. So we're getting into Richard's story here. Looks like he's at the scene of Screech. 2019. And then he starts rapping really fast, which I might have to go back and replay it a couple times.
In a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and read. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Force a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absently. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself. And there's nowhere to go. When there's friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mo, no rebound, no yo-yo. And so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth. But dying womb life brings the cycle of samsara. Always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the record seemed to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talked up.
Wow.
The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss.
Wow.
For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger down the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all are damn forsaken by creation, revelations. Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance.
Okay, so he's going back to work.
So sketchy.
Okay. I'm sorry to keep pausing. I'm sorry to keep saying I'm sorry. That last section was incredibly New York hip-hop-esque. I loved it. It reminded me a little bit of some Wu-Tang. So I don't know if there was some Wu-Tang inspiration there, but I got some Wu-Tang from that. So we shifted to Richard and the scene of him at Screech's death. Although in the very first video of this series, it said that he was in critical condition in the hospital, but I think he definitely died. So Richard was rattled by that and takes some time off of work. Then he turns to alcohol and ends up being deeply affected by this situation. And then Ren's sitting there explaining as he's drinking on the couch that, yeah, a brother killed his sister, but they didn't even know they were brother and sister. And he just can't stop thinking about it, and it's seriously affecting him. So then you see him in therapy. So then Ren pulls out a megaphone and explains the 5 stages of grief. And then upon the 5th one, the acceptance, is when we see him going back to work. The music lightens up a little bit, although there still feels like a little bit of underlying tension. Whew. Between this and 7 Sins, my brain hurts. Let's keep going.
Souls get shaken up. The road's never quite ideal. But slow, rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your
Okay, so this part is a little bit more... I thought there was going to be some underlying something darkness. But this is a little bit better, like more uplifting. I don't know, I was taking the lightness of the music with a grain of salt. But it's talking a lot about, yeah, you've been through some shit. But look at the person it's made you. And, you know, I'm proud of you for getting through it. The wounds were deep and you got through it. And now you're ready to start life again, essentially, is what I'm taking from this section. But I think what my hesitancy about thinking, oh, okay, this is a positive part of the song, I think it's still going to affect him based on my own experience from surviving trauma. It never goes away. And it literally reprograms your nervous system and who you are. And you act accordingly from then on. And that never, ever goes away. I'm still experiencing it 30 years after the trauma that I experienced. It's completely changed everything about me. So I think that's going to be a factor for Richard as well.
Itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy, serve and protect my don.
And I think that the part he's just said about being itchy to return to work, Richard might even be forcing himself to get back, to get back to it. He doesn't want to be stuck in this rut forever, but life has to go on. And even though he may not be 100% yet, I think he's thinking that getting back to work and resuming his life will even help him get over it even more. I'm not sure. Keep in mind, I am completely guessing and also expressing my opinion on this based on my own experiences and some instinct. Okay.
Boy, I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy, serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on.
Yeah.
We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
See? Okay. Okay, so there at the end, you had the flash to where he arrested Vincent. And I had this underlying feeling of unease when the mood lightened up. Richard's putting his uniform on. His wife's coming in and out of the picture to help him, which is telling a story of itself. And I'm like, okay, Ren is, these were, he's proud of, he's saying, I'm proud of you. You look at who you've become. This horrible thing that you've been through has made you better. Good on you for pulling up your bootstraps and getting back to life. And in the very last line is, what could go wrong? The fact that I feel emotionally exhausted and like I could take a nap right now is a credit to Ren. Because, as I said earlier, between Seven Sins and then this song, and just following along, like I was so afraid that I wasn't going to be able to just hit the ground running with the Vincent tale, because it's been so long since I did the first two. That was not a problem. What really made my brain hurt was trying to follow along in this 10-minute. There were several phases of this video alone. So much happening in a 10-minute space. And just so brilliantly done, as per usual. The fact that Ren can do this to me in a 10-minute song is... I'm speechless. I was going to continue on with Ren today. I'm feeling like I need to go take another break just to kind of reset my brain. So I don't know what I'm going to do next because I feel like this is a lot. It's hard to convey, to you guys watching this process of recording videos. If you do it genuinely, it's taxing. It's incredibly taxing. If you show a little bit of vulnerability and you are completely genuine, doing reactions can be very easy if you're just kind of cycling through them and not investing your emotions into them. But it's very difficult to do this on a regular basis when you're seriously absorbing what it is you're watching and hearing. And I have a couple of acquaintances who also do this. I'm not going to say names, that are being incredibly affected by that. It's draining. It's emotionally exhausting to do this. I record maybe once, twice, 3 times a week, depending on how things are going in real life. And it never fails, sit down with a plan to record. I'm going to do this, 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 I'm going to do this. And like the other day, I was like, I'm going to knock out 3 or 4. It used to be, I want to do like 5, 6, 7, 8 videos in a day. That's almost impossible for me based on how I do my reactions. The other day, I was like, I'm going to do 3 or 4. I got 1 done. Just because of how invested I was in it. So today, I came in again with a plan. I'm going to do nothing but Ren stuff. It's been way too long. I'm ready to kind of circle back around and kind of do a big chunk of his stuff. The first song, I almost fall off my chair. I have to take a break. And then this one's got like 3 different parts that's got my head just spinning. I mean, I feel like if I do another one in today, it's going to knock me over. Anyway, I'm rambling again, but I just thought I would provide some perspective. A lot of people that are on that side of the camera don't realize that when you are doing this, when you sit down to record these videos, if you're doing it authentically, it's not just a matter of sitting down, hitting the record button, pressing play, getting through the song. Oh yeah, that was great. The music this, or oh yeah, that was a cool lyric. If you get emotionally invested in music as I do, it can be exhausting to record multiple videos in one day. It's a bit of a challenge, which I didn't even imagine before I started doing this. Yeah, and it makes me wonder, you know, it helps me to understand other reactors that I see that do 3 videos a day. That type of production, you can't sit down and emotionally invest in stuff. You know, you have to kind of just treat it like a factory. Like you do a song, you say some things, you react to it, but then, you know, you don't open yourself up, you don't relate to it, or at least don't talk about how you relate to the song. That's one way that people do them. Because when I first started doing this, I was like, how did such and such churn out 3 videos every single day? Or, you know, even 2. I started out doing 2 a day. Some weeks are better than others, but it's just incredibly complicated. Anyway, I've talked your head off enough. That was absolutely incredible. I'm looking forward to the next installment to this saga. Don't know if I'm going to do it today or not. I'm going to go take a walk and think on it. Thank you all so much for putting up with my ranting and sharing this with me today. I will see you on the next one.